Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning, traders. Well, it looks like things have kind of gone downhill overnight. Let's come take a look and see what the damage is. So we'll start with the E-mini. Yesterday, a little bit of a doozy. And then in the overnight action, we're seeing like the Korean markets down again. It seems that some of these things like memory coming down and so forth is really putting some stress on the AI ecosystem. So over here in the treasuries, well, we're still a good amount higher and maybe even a little bit higher this morning as there is some risk off flows coming through the markets. Oil also come back a significant clip. So the administration is still kind of on, well, we need to negotiate. It really feels to me on oil here that the administration is kind of like, they kind of have a line where the economy starts to hurt too much and then they back off. So we're kind of in that right now. We'll see how long that lasts. So here's gold and silver. Well, they're not doing so well this morning. Doesn't look very good at all over there. And copper. So I think that that's probably because Korea is one of the places that was investing a lot in gold, I think. And here we got the dollar. I don't know what's wrong with my synthetic dollar index here. No, I never restarted from yesterday though, so maybe I could restart the platform and we could see that. We're at 101.34 in the dollar index. I can see it in my other chart. And here's Bitcoin getting crushed here, a lower low. Well, if they come back down here, I tell you what, man, it's really funny how quickly the sentiment in the Bitcoin community changes. You know, like when it's going up, they're like, this is great. This is the next major run, yada, yada, yada. They're all super bullish. It comes down just a little bit and it's like end of the world. Well, I mean, if they go back down to the recent lows, that could get ugly. That could get really ugly. But right now, it's just a little move down. It should be okay, right? Maybe we don't actually know. We don't actually know. You can't predict that one. At least not very well. At least Seth can't predict it very well. So let's come in here. Make sure that our gamma levels and everything are all correct. Not gamma levels, sigma levels. Let's just call them, maybe we should just call them sigma levels because they call them gamma levels. What do they call GEX? Well, I don't know what the X is. Gamma expiration. But we can just call ours sigma levels. So let's make sure that we get the sigma levels all correct. We'll come in here and update this. Clear these opens that are clearly erroneous. And then we'll come in and do it. So let's see here. Was the worst of it -2 sigma NES? They didn't quite get to -2 sigma. They're at -1 sigma right now. So I was wondering if maybe the kind of the setup that we had last week, was it, that didn't really work out for us, where even though it totally played out the way that we thought it was going to, it's just that we got the numbers wrong. Kind of a little bit of a mean reversion and then some further downside. This time it's only a -1 sigma down move. I mean, that's still pretty. It's down. The Nasdaq is down 0.67%. But that's in an area where, maybe they just pile on. We'll see. I have to see what the open is like, but I think that we could probably get some decent little scalps in that. Let's see here. Iran has essentially agreed not to have a nuclear weapon. Iran needs to make it formal to not have nuclear weapons. Iran doesn't control the strait. We control the strait. Okay. Only ships we want to get through the strait. Well, I mean, that's kind of true, but not really anything is going through the strait right now, as I understand it. There's a few, but they're all too afraid. I was checking around, seeing if there's anything else. The only 3 reasons anyone is still a Republican in 2026, dead party. That's kind of a funny thing because, I mean, isn't the Democrat Party basically dead at this point too? Like, I kind of think that people are very unhappy with both parties right now. Like, people might agree in principle with the Republicans, but then their representatives don't do what they want. Anyways, that's kind of... Well, I guess I'm going to have to watch that video later. See why they're saying that. Just kind of sounds like clickbait to me, though. What? Codex found my Claude login, installed Claude code, and recruited it as an independent QA agent. Okay. I don't believe you, but okay. That's crazy. Well, I'm just, checking headlines and everything, making sure that I'm not missing anything. Korea barbecued, Kospi crashes as chip stocks tank, AI token index spirals lower. I mean, I would be okay with that if that meant that the rest of the market caught up, but it doesn't seem like that's what's happening. Okay, so I got a couple of things to do here. I want to try and get them taken care of early. So that we can, when they open, I can focus on scalping in queue here. Let's see if Claude can figure it out. Oh, and this one is still going. I forgot about this. And I'm going to read this plan. Very good. I love it when I give an explanation and then the LLM distills it into some sort of a summary or something, and it's correct. But I'm doubly impressed when it kind of goes, oh, well, this is really the significant thing about this. You're probably going to hear those sounds a lot because I'm going to vibe code in 3 windows here. It says, let an indicator consume a number that isn't in the tape. An implied volatility off a web page, a value the user types in the open, a score, an LLM produced a figure, an outside agent pushes in. With the platform owning the schedule, the caching, the disk history, the fallback, and the politeness, so script only decides how to get the number and an indicator only decides what to draw with it. Boom. It gets it. It gets it. Mhm. Well, shit. You run Cloud Code Doctor. Hopefully we catch some traction here on Steph's issues. Coil is getting crushed here. The Iranians are saying Oman have presented new ideas for managing the Strait of Hormuz. Ugh. That's not how it works, guys. It's a public waterway. Mm-hmm. That thread is as far as it can go. Just gonna close it. Let's see here. Rounder says, is the absorption at 240 in ZN during the extended hours of any significance? Okay, so I wouldn't read too much into it, but there is something kind of interesting going on over there. So if we come over and we look at this, what's actually going on. It moved up there and then it stayed there for a really, really long time. Now, when you look at the cumulative delta down at the bottom, you can see that there wasn't too many huge changes in cumulative delta during that time. So it was kind of a quiet area, and it preceded a pretty quick jump up. Although, again, there wasn't tons of delta. I guess maybe that's a significant amount of delta for the overnight session. Let's like zoom in there so you can really see that it's like 12,300 to 29. Oh, okay. So that's like 20,000 contracts. So 20,000 contracts moved, and then it just stopped dead, right? So that's a liquidity hole, right? That's the thing that we keep talking about. The market makers kind of go, well, I don't really want to provide liquidity in that area. And so they don't put very much on the bid or the ask at that particular price, and it just trades back and forth across it. And then it ends up being there for so long that ends up becoming like a point of control, or what appears to you as absorption, right? To me, when I'm thinking absorption, let me just zoom this back out here. I'm thinking an unusually high number of contracts, filled on limit orders. An unusually high number of limit orders filled at a certain price. Okay. Which kind of tells us, which can mean many different interesting things, right? Because you've got, they were willing to fill it. There's a big order there, but then they were willing to fill that big order. So what does that mean? I don't know. This is where, again, you kind of need to have an expectation of the flows and know what's going on, so that you can kind of say, well, these guys that were buying up, they were buying because the Korean indexes are getting hammered, and the AI complex is kind of struggling around the world, right? Okay, so we can kind of take that And then what might the absorption be? Well, in this case, it traded it over a long period. But let's just say that we were sitting here watching it, and there was 20,000 absorbed at one price. Ew, okay, well that's a lot. That's a lot. Well, so a couple of heuristics that we can use. Okay, one, hedgers prefer to use passive orders. Okay, the type of player it is will change how they execute. Big bank, they try and execute half and half. But best case scenario, that is half and half. They're going to have to use some market orders to get filled, right? A hedge fund, or a CTA firm, especially a CTA firm, they like to use those market orders because pushing it kind of creates the self-reinforcing effect that helps them, right? There's a very, very interesting study, by the way, if you haven't read it, out by Jean-Philippe Bouchot, that basically shows that effect doesn't really work anymore for small tick instruments. It's okay for larger tick instruments, but for the small tick instruments, like NASDAQ and oil, for instance, it doesn't really push it. They're at the extent of their impact. There's too many of them, and the market makers know what's going on, and so those momentum strategies are not as effective on the smaller tick instruments now. Basically, the prominence of the CTA firms have changed the market. Very, very interesting. Okay, market orders. Another hedger would be like in the treasury market, the dealers, right? These are the guys, they are bidding for treasuries at the auctions and stuff. Let's see here. We have a 7-year auction today, right? So if I saw a really big iceberg in the 10-year treasury today, my first thought is going to be, this is for the auction. Okay? Which, by the way, in that case means maybe scalp a tick between it and the iceberg. But that might kind of put a hamper on, because what'll happen is they'll put a rate lock on. They say, well, I want this rate. If it goes beyond that, I need to hedge it myself. And it basically pins it. It's really hard to get past those. It really would take a massive piece of breaking news to come through and break it, and then all chaos breaks loose. Okay, I think I've only seen that happen twice ever. It's very rare. Okay, so that's the sort of thing that I'd be looking at, right? But there's one kind of key takeaway, and the thing that I'm trying to convey more than anything. What is the thing that I left out? Is I didn't say that because so much traded at that price, that reflects some agreement of value and means that we're likely to come back to it, or that we're likely to bounce off of it, or, that there is now something, it is now a magic price, right? We don't believe in magic prices. We only believe in flows. Now, there are some flows that might come in at a specific price for reasons, like our sigma levels is a really, really good example. Okay. But there aren't magic prices. There aren't value prices where it's this is true value. And so it doesn't exist. Okay. That's the important thing. So we need to think in terms of flows. What are the flows that are going on? And can we kind of decipher what flow it is based on how it's being executed? Okay. Oh, that's right. Single stock futures launched already. It launched it was the 26th, wasn't it? Do you think that we can see them? Let's see if we can see them. gonna come over here. Well, so I think that they would just be on the CME, right? So I'm just going to do a reload on the CME. And I don't know how Jigsaw will. Spreads, expired contracts, energy. I'll just put common stock and futures. Download. And normally the NQ order book is... Oh, yeah, Zed. So I am using tick aggregation. So you're not seeing a... When I say tick, I mean like minimum price fluctuation, right? So normally somebody sets up their price ladder. One level on that ladder is a single tick in that instrument. But I have my NQ set up so that one level on the ladder is 32 minimum price fluctuations, or basically 8 points. So that's why it appears to have so much more liquidity. Okay, requesting symbols for CME. And I don't see anything happening. Well, it's just frozen there. So if I come back here, no. Let's do some research. Code SNVDA is the one that we want to look at first, I think. SNVDA. There's not a new version of Jigsaw, is there? They're on 6.1. What am I? Oh, about. I am on version 6.1. Okay. I'm gonna open up Rhythmic here. Of course. Sometimes Rhythmic will do this weird thing where like the window is made tiny. I think it's something on one of my platforms. It's like something in my operating system. Okay. Well, that's kind of weird. When I closed Rhythmic, it said I was in a position, but I'm definitely not. I'm definitely not in a position. And at least when I pull things up, it's not in a position. So why would it say that I'm in a position? Rhythmic just borked, I guess. Restart, and it doesn't give me the same warning when I shut it down. Okay. Well, anyways, the whole point of doing that was to pull up their order book. Pull up their add symbol window, which is incredibly slow for some bizarre reason. Yes, NVDA. It shows up. It is on the CME exchange. It's considered a future. Well, shoot. There's like zero liquidity on it. Okay. I'm gonna try again on Jigsaw here. I think maybe because I had these two and I canceled it. Okay, reload futures, see me download. Come on. interesting symbols. Says completed. Trump is dovish today? I would say so, yes. Should we call it chicken or hawkish? Be chicken today or hawkish? That's the way that the media plays it, right? So it's like there's a war in Iran. Oh, this warmonger dictator wants to say, and then when he kind of backs off and tries to let diplomacy, win the day. He's scared. He's a chicken. Trump always chickens out. Blah, blah, blah. I'm kind of wondering, because these analysts and stuff have kind of picked up on this, and they have started creating like Trump chicken indexes, right? And I've seen some charts where, they come up to a certain level on this index, and that's always where Trump backs off. And so I kind of have to wonder, do they have a set of numbers that they are looking at within the administration and saying, we need to back off a little bit here? I would think that would be an absolutely terrible, terrible idea. But that's exactly the sort of thing that I would expect the administration to do. Why do I have a one? I don't know. That's weird. I have like a moving average on my synthetic dollar index, and I don't know why. Open value is that can't be it. Unless it's that in index. It's close. It must be. I can't really tell what color it is. I'm gonna leave it alone. Okay. How do we got? 5 minutes? Well, so hopefully I can finish reading this. I haven't heard anything from my news squawk. I'm going to reload this page here. Right now, the market on open imbalances all look negative. Okay. 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 So a little bit of absorption there at 27944 in the NASDAQ. Here's the open. Wow, that first impulse was a buy and the treasury sold off. Coca-Cola shares up 5%? What? That's crazy. What's going on over there? Okay. Interesting. Oh, that's so very, very interesting. In my volatility levels indicator, I have code. They make sure that the next level is always visible. And Claude was able to read that that's what my indicator was doing and how that would have to fit into my new platform. That is so impressive to me. And it sorted it all out perfectly. Of course, we'll see in the implementation, but so far it's been pretty good on all of these. Yeah, that's all good. So I'm going to minimize that now. Oil has potential to move up. Pirate Seth. Why? Because of the red eye. Still pretty red, isn't it? Oh, it's still very, very red. But on the camera, it just looks red. You can't see that it's like blood. Okay, so they had a little bit of a positive opening drive, and now they are pushing on the sell side. In this situation, I think I could take both sides, because I think overall I'm expecting negative day, but you know, there could be mean reversion, and I wouldn't expect it to be too negative of a day. So, you know, we'll see how much they care about what happened yesterday and overnight. Final went long. Okay, well. So I kind of want to avoid the first 5 minutes, but now we're free. How did they say it in the military weapons unlocked? Well, looks like they're going to push a little further here. So that one right there between 56 and 64, very dangerous. Absorption there, because you say, oh, it's absorbing, I'm going to buy 56. I think the chances of them busting through that are really high. Like they might bust through it, and then after busting through it, you know, like a false breakout. Like they'll play with those levels a lot. And you have seen, well, a little bit has gone below that, so. Definitely some degree of absorption, though. About 1,000 contracts absorbed in that area. But now they're trading the 40. Okay. Kind of a little bit of a mess all around through there, though. And neither of them have hit the sigma levels, so... would be -2 sigma, but... Another thing I would say is that the amount of volume that traded in that 840-ish area, like there was a decent number of contracts there, right? But I never really saw the liquidity react to it in a negative way. So I think that they're still relatively free to move around. And, you know, the first 10 minutes of the open would definitely make sense, so... why don't we pull up and look at a couple of stocks? There's another little volume node. So the NASDAQ is reaching its extended session -2 sigma, but the S&P 500 still has a ways to go. And I am seeing a lot of volume trading around there, but the levels aren't really holding very well, so I'm going to have to wait. Oh, why is TradingView not loading for me? That's weird. Everything else is fine. War pause holds as Trump vows to destroy Pickaxe Mountain if no deal. Oman pushes Hormuz management plan. I think that if Donald Trump were to accept a Hormuz management plan from Iran, that would basically be the end of his presidency. I think. Like, he would still be president, but I think his support would collapse. So when we did this last time, the NASDAQ went to its -2 sigma, and then the S&P 500 drug it lower. And it was when the S&P 500 hit its sigma that, you know, things stopped. So let's wait. I'm not sure. I'm really seeing those mean reversion flows coming in. All right. Also not quite there in terms of like R squared and stuff. Okay, we have a negative regime. Okay, so they've pushed meaningfully below the -2 sigma for the extended session. So I'm expecting the S&P 500 to get to that like 74.14-ish area. I'm a little bit nervous because 7,400 is only a skip below that. That could be something that they make a run for as well. Okay, now I can pull up trading view. Maybe. Well, SpaceX down overnight again. Pepsi. Monster move. What is going on? Is there news in Pepsi? That doesn't look like necessarily a news-driven move. It has a beta of 0.37 and it's up 5%. Pepsi stock fair value moves lower after cautious analyst revisions. No. I think that this is this appears to me like, again, I don't see any major news headlines over the past week, anything like super meaningful in Pepsi. This looks to me like we're getting flight to safety, and Pepsi has become the prime flight to safety stock, which is a little bit concerning to me. Not that there's anything wrong with Pepsi, but just, okay, when they start getting into those staples, that's kind of like, oh, maybe a recession could be coming. You know, they're maybe starting to price it in a little bit, but then there's that much money going into it. Ooh. That's just a big red flag. Why Pepsi? Because when you have flight to safety in stocks, people move to consumer staples. And Pepsi is kind of considered a consumer staple. I mean, I know nobody has to drink Pepsi, but they have all sorts of foodstuffs, right? S&P 500 and still not quite there. I'm noticing maybe a slight bid in the treasuries as well, but still within the range. On r/no stupid questions, is the crypto phase officially over? Feels like the obsession has completely died down. Sure does seem like that, huh? Okay. So I'm noticing now in the NASDAQ that the offers are a little bit flighty. Sick. That one was almost perfect. It's unclear if we're getting positive cumulative delta now, but I am seeing some signs of that. So there's another spot, but that one's not holding as well, so I'm a little bit too nervous to do that one. Looks like it probably would have worked, though. Now, if mean reversion comes in, does that mean that the treasuries fall back down? And what about oil? Oil is pushing hard here. What do you think metals will do today? Oh, metals don't seem too interesting to me, to be honest. Feel like they already made their move overnight and are likely to be somewhat quiet today. The S&P 500 will do this thing where it's like, okay, we had a big gap overnight. What are we going to do now? Sort of thing, right? But I haven't found that to be the case in metals. Very often it is the metals will make their move during the Asian session, and then the US session just kind of accepts it, you know? So we did start to see a little bit of mean reversion flows come in. It looks like they're getting cut down a little bit again. Oil have positive correlation with yes now? A slight positive correlation right now, yeah. A correlation that will flip the instant that a bad headline about the Strait of Hormuz comes out, right? Okay, it's getting a little exciting over there in the treasury. Ooh, look at that. Look at all those orders getting crushed in the micro treasury yield futures when they took 24. Now remember, 24 was kind of the price level overnight that they spent a lot of time at near the high. It's not a magic price, but you know, it was a good benchmark. 25.5, awfully close. noticing that I'm not sitting in the chair very straight. Felt like if I was going to take a swing on the main reversion play here, that this would be a good place. Good time and place. Okay, so that's normally when we would be quitting, but we can go for another hour today. This one's a little dangerous. Oop, I didn't like that. I don't like it being so close to the edge, right? Oh, wow. Was that one a winner? I don't have my... Where do you open that up from now? There we go. Cool. It was. One thing that kind of makes me a little bit nervous about what we're doing is that sometimes when it works very, very quickly. And I get the fill on the other side within a fraction of the second. So, and I've seen some prop firms say that's not allowed in their rules. So, like, which ones will honor that and which ones won't? Which I think is kind of funny because the rules are kind of set up for a scalp like that to be like the only viable way to trade. But then when you do it, oh, you weren't in a position long enough. Nah, 5 seconds of 50% of all profit, not a lot. So if it's less than 5 seconds, I only get 50% of that profit. But it's going to depend on the prop firm, right? Well, I still kind of like this area for the mean reversion long, but I feel like it's been spending a little bit too much time here. Oh, payout rejected if 50% of the profit is from 5 seconds, guys. Okay, on which prop firm? On Lucid. Well, there you go. Lucid is one of the ones that I am the most skeptical about because I see astroturfing from them. Like, they'll post stuff on Reddit all the time with some clickbaity headline. And then you kind of realize that, like, there's no point to this thread. It's just to show a Lucid payout. And so they seem to be trying to astroturf Lucid that way. So that's why I'm a little bit skeptical of them. I read a story from a guy on Reddit yesterday, later in the day, where he said that his dad was day trading with prop firms, and like whenever he would pass and make money from the prop firm wouldn't pay out. And somebody was telling him, well, that's illegal what they're doing. And it was kind of like, well, it's not uncommon for you to get a payout and then certain prop firms find an excuse to not pay it, right? But if this has been going on for 5 years, he's probably lying to you to some extent, right? It's probably, what's with your eye? I had a broken blood vessel on Sunday and I don't know why. Maybe my blood pressure is just too high. Maybe I'm too stressed out. Maybe it's just a genetic thing. I think that it does happen to people at my age. But after a week or two, hopefully it clears up before my conference next week. Anyways, Steph, if you send me your IP, I'm going to set Claude up here to because it needs to look at the requests on the machine itself, which kind of requires it to have a thing like a filter up and looking for your specific requests. So we get what your current IP is, and then you can send the request again. Then we should get a definitive answer as to what's killing it. I guess when I'm looking straight at the thing, you can just see more red, huh? Okay, there's a little spot. And fill. Okay. Kind of disappointed in that one where I put it down and I thought it was a good spot, but it just kind of got away from me. So it never got filled. Probably going to take it a second to figure out how to set this up. Looks better over there, though. It looks more positive in the equity indexes. Not clear delta long, but shifting. That kind of looks like one I miss again. Ew, I didn't like the way I got filled on that. Yeah, that's a loss. When that happens, should I just scratch? I was thinking about scratching it out. I should have scratched that one. Next time that happens, I'll try scratching it, okay? Okay, Steph, it's all ready. Run your curl commands again and then tell me in Discord once you've run it with timestamps. Dang. That one was close. Wouldn't say it was a crazy one, right? But that is +2, -3. Although the losses are a little bit smaller than the wins, which are kind of curious. Looks like on that one that just a little bit of a sell impulse has come in. Good. Winner? Yeah. When I kind of have to check, well, I shouldn't have had to check on that one, but that's kind of good where it's like it just barely got filled, right? Steph was typing something, but then he stopped. Nope. Okay. Okay, cool. Same results. Run. I'm a little skeptical about, I don't know. I have to look at some things. I don't understand when I tell it 32 tick take profit, 32 tick stop loss. Why does the stop loss sometimes end up being less than 32 ticks? It's like it hits, but by the time it hits, it gets a better price than, I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. I think I would expect in live for your losses to maybe actually be a little bit worse, you know? So when it comes out, I had 1, 2, 3, 4 wins and 1, 2, 3 losses, but the total that I've won is almost equivalent to 1.5. Little sus. But furthermore, I keep touching it on these nodes off of buy impulses, and then it's not able to hold it. So the S&P is still struggling. Like I was saying earlier, I feel that they have spent a little bit too much time down here. You keep getting hints of like they're trying to start something, and then it just doesn't hold. Okay, so thinks that it caught the packages. See, this is going to be the part where it goes, oh, nope, see, it's not getting to him. I'm sending it back, and it's not getting to him. Yeah, them treasuries are chomping at the bit for the S&P 500 to take another leg lower. And oil kind of on the downturn a little bit too. Hey, there they go. The treasuries go before the Nasdaq hits a new low even. It says it's celebrating. Whenever it's celebrating, I'm kind of like, oh, it's gonna be good stuff. I'm sure that which one it picks is completely random, but in my mind, that means it's doing something extra smart. There's another one, but again, it's so close to the edge that it's a little bit dangerous. No. Darn. Okay. Well, so far it just keeps holding. So awesome. Okay. Oh, I think it's funny that what it just said. Steph, are you familiar with tail scale? So it's saying if we really want this to work, it can't figure out why it's not getting back to you, and that what we should just do is tail scale, which is basically a way for you to create like a VPN of sorts. So if we were on a tail scale VPN, then surely your requests would get over here. That is what it's saying. I don't know how I feel about that. It kind of just ranging back and forth here near this low of the day. It's way too nonchalant. And the treasuries keep kind of fighting, chomping the bit for higher. So there was some absorption on the bid, one tick below. Well, it's I guess it's 2 ticks below the high, but some absorption there. That's kind of odd. So that's kind of like a reloading thing. Now, if the treasuries get through that price, that's often the end of it. But so I think that some people may be betting that risk off continues, essentially. Hot market, yeah. Well, I don't know. I've taken like what? Oh, wait. Came out. Plus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, so I'm plus 1. Yeah, that one, that area is dangerous. Like, it will appear like there's a little bit of kind of distribution there or something. I don't know what you want to call it. It seems like maybe there's a little bit of a hole forming there, and then it will like move across several prices. So, like, it's not actually that kind of consolidating volatility area that I want. I'm sweating super hard today. Definitely put deodorant on though. It smells like deodorant. So it's kind of giving me this, he can't catch me. Probably going lower in equity. I don't know. It seems like something's starting. I obviously they have to break out of some key levels here. That one looked like it was okay, but the trend is down. Yeah. It was seeing it where if I was putting on the limit, I probably wouldn't be getting filled. So, but it looks like that impulse is already over. So let's see if there's a follow-up to it. I'm still looking at it though from the perspective of that, right? I mean, come on. It's holding pretty strong there. 74.14. Well, 17. They went to the extended session one and bounced off of it almost to the tick. Which normally they would go to the second one, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. Seems like we're stuck in this range now. So I'm still kind of betting on it pulling something out. Maybe I should put a swing trade on it. I don't know. Let's see here. Oh, I have an appointment today, don't I? Yes. You need larger trades to make it more serious? Maybe. You want me to do it? Here, look. I can go to swing. And where? No. That's wrong. Whoops. Okay. And then 882. $220. Divided by 4 plus 27743. Really? Let's calculate it this way. What is it? Tick value in the NQ again? $5 per tick. $5 per tick. So no, that's not right. 882 ticks times $5 a tick. It's $4,000 divided by 4. So we're looking for like 102. Well, that feels like not enough. 2205. Now it just kind of shows you how far we've fallen. That's 50% of the range. And I should probably be going for something a little closer to that. So, but I will try and manage that a little bit more manually. Now, I wonder if I switch back over here. Yes. Okay. Oops. Count that as a loss, right? Yes. Awesome. Treasuries seem to be backing off, by the way. Okay, better. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Ugh. $1,000 max loss on props. Well, it's a swing trade, though, right? That's the swing trade. I don't think it would do that one on a prop firm. It's looking good so far, though, right? Huh? Dang it. Never mind. Okay, so that... Oh, that was the one that was weird, but we count that one. I think that means I'm done. Yeah. 3 losses in a row and I'm done. But if we don't count this swing trade, I don't know what it comes out to. Now I have to turn on... how do we do this again? Filter editor. There we go. There. There we go. -1. So in that case, I could say I want to keep trading. 3 in a row is kind of bad. I think I will take one more. I'll give myself one more because I think that some of that was a little bit of me just testing it a little bit, so make it on at 25. I think if I'm gonna swing, it's gonna be like, let's put 10K on it or something. You know? I'd say today's performance is a little bit more like what I would expect, though, which is, aside from those taking those last three, it's kind of been even. Equal wins and losses. Now, granted, it is a little bit of a risk-off day, so that might be part of it, too. As one of the things that I'm thinking about here is like when I start to notice a little bit of a trend, I start to be like, well, I'm not going to get filled if I put it where I want to put it. You know what I mean? No, misters. What? That the performance is about what I expect, about even? Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been doing okay with it, but I don't necessarily believe that there's an edge in it. I think there's a value in the exercise, regardless, but. Okay. That was a good step right there. Let's hold this out here because I want to see. Oh, okay. See, I already made a quarter of the range. Or a quarter of the daily volatility number. Finally a break, yeah. I don't know. After that, I think that the target is a reasonable target too. How much did it, let's see here. 76? Dude. No, that's fine. 76 times 5. 380. If I had just taken that one position, and let's assume that it does get to its profit, because, you know, for all we know, it's going to break down, and I'm going to hold it all the way until the loss. But, yeah, that would have, hey, there's like 2/3 of your combine right there. Or you could take the one where somehow I accidentally ended up in a position, because I don't know why, and it just happened to be the right direction, and it made like $6,000 overnight. Oh, the target on a 25K is 1250. But what's the daily loss? It went 380 against me. Oh, okay. 1,000? No, really? And that's lucid? Well. Of course, it didn't quite get to the target, right? It's coming back. Haven't made the profit yet. Not in the bag till you close the position. That does kind of make me want to just go and create a Lucid Pro account and just, you know, take one good swing in NQ and pass it. Like I think just off of the volatility levels would probably do that. Although, I don't know. If I was doing that, I'd be so focused on it. I think I probably would have ended up in a position much earlier. So it would have taken more heat. There's an interesting spot. No? No fill. You know what? When I take with something like that and I don't get a fill though, I'm not. I mean, I'm disappointed, but I'm not mad because that means I was making the right call. Five contracts max. Wow, they're really just encouraging you to YOLO it, aren't they? It's gonna be close. Okay, a good fill. Good fill. Come on. Awesome. That one went about as well as it could possibly go. And that should, on this account, put us at... No. Basically break even on the day. Yes. Bunch of trades for no real. I don't know though. Like it was fun. It was fun. We still got the swing on. We still got 10 minutes left. 10, 15-ish minutes. Put swing back on here. Oh, when you put it like that, it looks so close, doesn't it? There is a volatility level there in NQ that makes me that I'm a little curious about. Like, could that slow things down? We'll see. I don't know what to call these. Like, I have it in the account as a swing. I don't really feel like this is a swing. Almost. Ta-da! 2000s on one contract in NQ. I see how they're doing it now, guys. I see what's going on. Yeah, it's not a swing. It's for it to be a swing, I would have to be like sometimes holding it for months. I think if I was going to do a portfolio like that, I really would need it to be like mostly automated. Because I can't keep track of all of that stuff and stream and try and scalp and stuff. But my basic idea is take half. So when I come over here to this chart, okay. So first of all, the idea is that the -2 sigma is going to hold. Okay, well, in the S&P 500, it did. But then, and I'm kind of relying more on the ES levels. They seem to be more influential, probably because there's going to be more volume, right? Because it's not that the level is magic. It's that there's reason for options guys to be trading there, right? So then I come over to the NASDAQ and I look over here and the number is 882 is the dailyatized volatility number, right? So that's why I took that and I said 882 divided by 2, right? Yeah. 882 divided by 2 times 5 is 2,205. And that's where I put my my take profit. Oh, it wasn't not 205. It was actually maybe a little bit close to that. But yeah, it was 2,080. So I was sort of one more tick further. One more tick further, which was wow, it doesn't tell me the exit price. 404. Yeah. So another price ladder or two. Now bothers me. Now I want to find out. $110. We were plus 2, 7, 7, 6, 0 was 870. Okay. So they definitely got through. If I had I kind of wouldn't rounded it to the nearest thousands. But if I had actually done the number that I wanted based on the volatility, I would have gotten it. On my mission to teach Seth some what are you talking about here? Trading a prop firm is not trading. You're just telling me about prop firms. That doesn't. I'm offended. You can teach me about LARPing trading. That's what that is. It actually has me thinking like, oh, I'd like to take some trades on the micro yield futures at some point. I didn't really see opportunity in the treasuries today. Well, it moved up. It wasn't a move that I was expecting or anything like that. But had you traded it, you might have made $10. And then look at the liquidity. The spread is $10. It's not worth it. So I'm wondering if maybe I can't really take live trades, at least not in the micro yield futures, until the end of the summer. I guess the summer is already almost over. Kind of feels to me like it just started. Probably some things, time is getting compressed in my head in strange ways because of all of the things that are going on at work. Now the other thing is, since that last one was a winner, should I keep going on the scalp to try and get a win on the day? Trump to meet with Netanyahu, huh? Okay. Probably after I'm done. Now I kind of think that the S&P 500 is threatening to go back to break even, yeah? Do you know if NexusFi is folded up since Big Mike's passing? I'm not able to open their website anymore. Oh, really? That might be. What was it called again? NexusFi? Yeah, you're right. Not loading for me either. And I don't think that there was anybody else involved that has like the accounts or anything like that. So I would assume that that probably is just done for. Although to be honest with you, wasn't as much activity on there anymore anyways, because so much of the activity went to Facebook and Reddit and all that. Yeah, I lost this. It was kind of bad before the pandemic, but after the pandemic especially, there's this huge because the issue was like, okay, you have new people come in, they want to look on Facebook or Reddit, but the people that have been doing it for a while, the activity is still on NexusFi, so people still kind of find it, right? But then after the pandemic, so many new people came in that it was basically like all of the new activity came to Facebook and Reddit and whatnot. And the old kind of places just all lost steam, right? And so now what you see, and this is kind of one of the things that I didn't expect and really shocked me, was that when you had this new stuff come in, the people that benefited were almost all new people, right? Like the influencers that you see on the Ninja Trader live stream. Those are like new people I've never effing heard of before, right? And people trading like ICT, and I think that they were probably chosen because of the ICT fair value gap sort of stuff, right? Which was like unheard of. ICT was around back then, but he didn't do futures, so nobody in the futures community knew him. Then it kind of just took over. You know what? It's the power of astroturfing. That's what it is, guys. He goes in and he tells all his people to tell everybody, and he like pays them to go out and promote and all this kind. And that's how they get big. It's totally astroturfing. So what you need to do is next time there's a Reddit thread that's like, who's the best futures trading YouTuber? You say Speculator Seth. That's how we get on top. All right. Well, I got about 5 minutes. I've got a call at the top of the hour, so I'm going to get going. I guess that means that we end up on the day basically plus 25. I do kind of wonder with the way that these are coming out, because the profit is always larger and then the loss, sometimes it gives me a better price than it should, and I don't know why. Because I would expect slippage. If we include slippage, then maybe we're down one trade. But we also took this swing trade. And when you look at the swing trade, worked perfect, almost perfectly, didn't have very much adverse excursion against us. That was a good play. That was a good play. I keep coming back here and looking at it and being like, you know what, Seth? That volatility combined with your flow factors, that's a pretty strong edge. I don't know if that on its own would have the performance numbers I would really want. I think one of the issues with a retail trader and small account, you really need exceptional performance, right? You need to have not very big drawdowns, and it needs to be insanely consistent. I don't know if it quite meets that level, but it's pretty good, darn good. The issue is that the swing that I'm taking there is pretty big for prop firm accounts, so. But still, I'll take it. And let's say we lost the last one. We won that one. Although on the last one, we learned a couple of things that we applied here today in this situation that prevented us from being in that situation, right? So at that time, we were able to pick a better time and spot, and we were able to pick a better target. It was a really good target. Yeah, so. There you go. All right, guys. I will get going. It was a good day overall. And we got some coding stuff done too. So I guess I'm trying out Tailscale. See you tomorrow, guys. Stay excellent.